Good morning, and welcome to this online worship service, a time set aside each week to consider what really matters in our lives. Our mission here at Sunnyhill is to create a more just and compassionate community within and beyond our walls. My name is Mary Jo Hennessy, and I serve as a worship associate for this congregation. If you are a newcomer or a visitor to our congregation, please visit our website, sunnyhill.org, and click on the New to Sunnyhill button. We'd love to let you know how you can connect with our congregation even during this time when our building is closed. Today, as we listen to our opening music, we encourage everyone who is watching or listening, not just newcomers, but everyone, let us know you're here by saying good morning or hello in the comment thread on Facebook or YouTube. We'd love to hear from all of you and have a chance to say good morning to everyone who is with us here today. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for saying hello.
As I'm sure you've heard, the CDC issued new guidelines with regard to wearing masks this week, which is good news for those who have been fully vaccinated and who have been looking forward to gathering unmasked with other fully vaccinated people. Here at Sunnyhill, our Board of Trustees is taking a deliberate approach to reopening, which will include a mix of online services and some in-person services outdoors on the Sunnyhill grounds during the summer months. All of our services, whether pre-recorded or live and in person, will continue to be streamed online. Also, for the time being, the board is asking that everyone continue to wear a mask when we gather together in person at Sunnyhill, unless you have received prior approval for a small group gathering of individuals who assert they are fully vaccinated and each of whom consents to not wearing masks. Our plan is to reopen for indoor, in-person services starting on September 12th, the Sunday after Labor Day. While we expect it is the case that the vast majority of our adult members are already fully vaccinated, most of our children will not be vaccinated for some time, and we want to proceed in a manner that is safe and responsible for all. So again, this summer will be a mix of pre-recorded services and live in-person services outdoors at Sunnyhill. And within the next week or two, we'll let you know when those services will take place. And as I said, we'll plan on reopening for indoor services on September 12th. All services will continue to be streamed online. Please read this coming week's Beat newsletter for more information about summer services and other pandemic-related updates. Thank you for your patience.
Hi, I'm Darla, and I was asked to tell you a little bit about my experience with the service auction at Sunnyhill. And my first time attending the service auction was last year, which was also virtual. I did take the time ahead of time to go through the list of things that would be up for bid and familiarize myself with that. The one thing that really stood out to me as I was looking at all of the possible items, because I'm a huge animal and pet enthusiast, was Corey Vipperman's pet portrait. And I knew that I had to try to get that if I could possibly bid and win that. And good news for me was that I did. This is the portrait of my guy, and I'm so blown away by it. I get compliments from friends and family, everybody I show it to that knows my dog. It's like, wow, that is so him. Not only looks, but really captures his fun-loving personality. So I have to say thank you again to Corey. And there's a lot of items to bid on. I hope that everybody does join and takes the opportunity to support Sunnyhill. And I would say that if you are as much of a pet lover and have pets in your home, that you really take the opportunity and try to bid and win the pet portrait by Corey, you won't be sorry. I'm really, really happy to have such a beautiful piece of art that is so personal to me in my home. Thanks.
Our opening words were written by Shari Woodbury. Welcome, you who come in friendship, who long for genuine community. May you be graciously received here as your authentic self. Welcome, you who come in curiosity, full of questions or simply open. May you embrace wonder and encounter new delights. Welcome, you who come heavy with fatigue, weary from the troubles of the world or the troubles of your particular life. May you rest and be filled during this sacred time. Welcome, You who come with joy for flowing trees and gentle breeze, for changing skies and great trees. May the grace of the world leave a lasting imprint on you. Come, let us celebrate together this wondrous life.
Please join us in saying the words for lighting our chalice. We light this chalice to kindle the fire of commitment, to proclaim the good news that all are worthy and all are welcome. May we carry this flame to all we encounter, letting our lives shine with its glow.
One more step, we will take one more step, till there is peace for us and everyone will take one more step. One more word, we will say one more word, till every word is heard by everyone. We'll say one more word. One more prayer, we will say one more prayer, till every prayer is shared by everyone. We'll say one more prayer. One more song, we will sing one more song, till every song is sung by everyone. We'll sing one more song.
Little Mole Finds Hope by Glennis Nellist. Illustrated by Sally Garland. Little Mole was sad. He lay in his burrow, deep underground, and put his head in his paws. Little Mole, what's wrong? Asked Mama. I don't know, Mama, sniffed Little Mole, but I don't feel good inside. I'm sad. What you need is hope, Mama said. Hope? What's hope? Where do I find it? Little Mole asked. Come with me, Mama said, as she took a hold of Little Mole's paw. Sometimes hope is hiding in the darkness. Sometimes it's hard to see, but it's always there. You just have to find it. Mama Mole led her son gently out of the dark burrow, up toward the light, but on their way out of the tunnel, Mama stopped. Do you see this bulb, Little Mole? She asked. Mama pointed to a bulb squashed in the dark earth. It was brown, wrinkled, and lifeless. It's dead, Mama, said Little Mole. No, my dear, Mama whispered softly. This bulb is not dead. Sometime soon it will feel the warmth of the sun. It will begin to grow and push its way out of the deep, cold earth. One day, this bulb will become a beautiful yellow daffodil. Close your eyes, Little Mole. Can you see it dancing in the wind? Yes, Mama, cried Little Mole. I see it, I see it. That is hope, Mama said. Little Mole and Mama reached the top of the burrow, where the sun was shining. Look up, Little Mole, Mama said. What do you see? Little Mole looked up. He saw woodpeckers sitting in the trees, but the branches were bare. They stretched out like skeleton bones silhouetted against the sky. They're dead, Mama, said Little Mole. No, my dear, Mama whispered softly. The trees are not dead. One day soon, buds will appear, and these branches will be covered in bright green leaves. Close your eyes, little mole. Can you see them dancing in the wind? Yes, Mamma, cried Little Mole. I see them, I see them. That is hope, Mamma said. Little Mole and his mamma scurried along the edge of the woods until they came to Mr. Rabbit's garden. An old brown flower pot was lying on its side in the soil. Under the rim, something small and shriveled was hanging. It's dead, Mamma, said Little Mole. No, my dear, Mamma whispered softly. This chrysalis is not dead. One day soon, the butterfly growing inside will burst out of her shell. She will spread her wings and fly free among the flowers. Close your eyes, Little Mole, said Mamma. Can you see her dancing in the wind? Yes, Mamma, cried Little Mole. I see her, I see her. That is hope, Mamma said. Little Mole and his mamma went home. I had a wonderful day today, Mamma, Little Mole said happily. Now I know that there's always hope, even in the darkest places. Mamma smiled as she tucked Little Mole into bed, pulled his quilt up under his chin, and kissed him good night. And Little Mole closed his eyes and fell fast asleep, dreaming of yellow daffodils, green trees, and beautiful butterflies dancing together in the wind.
It can be sometimes easy to feel helpless and sad about our world and our lives. Sometimes the problems just seem so big and outside of our control that the world starts to feel heavy. When I feel this way, I'm so grateful to my friends and family, like Mama in the story, for reminding me to look at the flowers. For me, where flowers bloom, so does hope. What reminds you that hope is always to be found? Is it the sunrise of a new day, the buds on a tree, maybe new life in the form of a human or animal baby being born? When we are having dark times in the world or in our hearts, it's important to have reminders that hope is always to be found.
We're gonna walk together arm in arm with peace in our hearts. We're gonna walk together arm in arm with peace in our hearts. We're gonna walk together arm in arm so our sisters and brothers won't come to any harm. We know we got peace in our hearts.
We're gonna walk with every color and tribe,
Peace in our hearts.
we're gonna walk with every color and tribe,
Peace in our hearts.
we're gonna walk with every color, every tribe, 'cause we know that we're stronger when we're on the same side.
We know we got peace in our hearts.
We're gonna stand for the earth stare into the face of a hateful mind.
Peace in our hearts.
We're gonna stare into the face of a hateful mind.
Peace in our hearts.
We're gonna stare into the face of the hateful mind.
All we gotta do is let our love light shine. We know we got peace in our hearts.
We're gonna walk together arm in arm.
Peace in our hearts.
We're gonna walk together arm in arm.
Peace in our hearts.
Gonna walk together arm in arm.
Where sisters and brothers won't come to any harm. We know we got peace in our hearts. Don't we know we got peace in our hearts?
Each week at this time in the service, we share joys and sorrows submitted by members of the congregation. We share the things that we are celebrating as well as the things that we are mourning so that they do not need to be held alone. Joys and sorrows may be submitted online from our website, or you can contact me or a member of our staff or pastoral care team by email or phone. After each joy or sorrow that I read, please respond by saying, "We hold you in our hearts." A joy from Corey and Jeff Vipperman. They say, "We're pleased to share that our oldest, Abby, is graduating today with an MS in ecology from Villanova. She was 2 years old when we started attending Sunnyhill. Perhaps more exciting, we are moving her from Philly back to the Berg tomorrow. I'm sure she would be grateful if anyone has leads for jobs in ecology or biology. To the Vipperman family, we hold you in our hearts." A sorrow from Dennis and Martha Sweeney. The Sweeneys sorrowfully report the death of their former son-in-law, Colin, in Atlanta last week. To the Sweeneys and to Colin's family and friends, we hold you in our hearts. Please join me in the spirit of meditation or prayer. How very little time we spend listening. Not listening to be entertained, not listening to find fault or to argue, not listening to gain advantage, not listening even to acquire knowledge, but listening simply and intently to what might be heard beneath the roar of those other thoughts and pursuits. What might be heard when our attention is focused only on the sounds themselves rather than our interpretations of them. What might be heard when we are still enough to hear our own internal rumblings, not critically, but with a mind that says open and open again and again. Let us listen together in silence to the sounds beneath the rumble and the roar. may the stillness of this moment open us now to that which often goes unnoticed. May the quiet of this moment return to us when we need silence amidst the noise. And may the togetherness of this moment remind us that we are not alone. Amen. I don't know about you, but these days I sometimes find myself wondering why I don't feel more hopeful than I do. As more and more people are vaccinated, there are a number of hopeful signs in our world, signs that we might be emerging from this challenging time and beginning anew. And I do feel that hope sometimes. But much of the time, I think that many of us are feeling just plain tired. And no wonder. Never in my life have I felt emotional and physical ups and downs as acutely and for such an extended length of time as I have over the past 14 months of pandemic and political, economic, and social crises. I've had a lot of ups and downs in my life, but the sheer scale and longevity of the crises that all of us have been facing are unprecedented, a word that we've heard frequently over the past 14 months. An unprecedented health crisis, an unprecedented time of racial reckoning, an unprecedented attempted insurrection, unprecedented political polarization, unprecedented economic and educational challenges, all of which has led to unprecedented fatigue. Things have been grinding on and on for so long and without any time to catch our breaths before the next crisis emerges. While the worst of the suffering has fallen, as it always does, on those who were already oppressed and marginalized, all of us have experienced the fatigue that is perhaps the distinguishing characteristic of our era. Harvard Medical School researchers have identified 4 stages of crisis fatigue. First, the heroic stage, when individuals band together at the onset of a crisis to determine how to survive. Second, the honeymoon stage, which is the reaction to initial success that occurs when individuals feel that they are in the same boat as others who are also taking the same steps necessary for survival. Next comes the disillusionment stage, when individuals begin to feel physically and emotionally exhausted, and hypervigilance now turns into irritation, rage, or despair. And finally, the fatigue stage. The human body cannot sustain high levels of cortisol and adrenal generated by stress for long periods, resulting in burnout, which can cause a person to be easily triggered or completely withdrawn. Over the past 14 months, with each and every emerging crisis, we've seen these stages of crisis fatigue play out. Again and again, we trudged through this process feeling more empty and depleted at the end of each cycle. At this point, it might be fair to say that we're experiencing crisis fatigue. We're tired of the process itself and have reached the point where our emotions become dulled or numbed as a matter of self-preservation. We sometimes feel nothing but a long gray blah. A recent New York Times article by organizational psychologist Adam Grant called this experience languishing, which seems an apt descriptor for what many, if not all of us, have been going through. Languishing, Grant says, is a sense of stagnation and emptiness. It feels as if you're muddling through your days, looking at your life through a foggy windshield. And it might be the dominant emotion of 2021. Grant writes, languishing, a term coined by sociologist Corey Keyes, is the neglected middle child of mental health. It is the void between depression and flourishing, the absence of well-being. You don't have symptoms of mental illness, but you're not the picture of mental health either. You're not functioning at full capacity. Languishing dulls your motivation, disrupts your ability to focus, and triples the odds that you'll cut back on work. It appears to be more common than major depression, and in some ways, it may be a bigger risk factor for mental illness. One of the dangers of languishing, as described by Adam Grant, is that you might not notice the dulling of delight or the dwindling of drive. You don't catch yourself slipping slowly into solitude. You're indifferent to your indifference. And when you can't see your own suffering, you don't seek help or even do much to help yourself. So, it is critically important to name, recognize, and see this emotion as it occurs. Research indicates that those who are languishing, feeling blah, now are 3 times more likely than others to experience post-traumatic stress disorder in the months or years to come. Grant does suggest some antidotes to the feeling of languishing. Specifically, he cites 3 things that can help. First, find ways of experiencing what's described as flow. that elusive state of absorption in a meaningful challenge or a momentary bond, where your sense of time, place, and self melts away. That sense of flow can be achieved by various means depending on your own interests and inclinations. For me, it's making music, among other things. But as many of us have found, it can quickly lift us up out of the blahs. Second, set aside time in your day for quiet, not to accomplish anything in particular, but simply to experience whatever stills your soul, whether it's time just staring out your window or getting out into the natural world or meditating or doing yoga. Set aside time to just be. And third, focus on small goals. At the start of the pandemic, you may have thought you'd use this time to write the great American novel, but that probably hasn't happened. Instead of trying to do huge things, find small wins, manageable and achievable projects that have a clear and easily defined end point. Together, these small wins can feel like something big. But perhaps most of all, it is important to recognize when we are languishing, share what we are feeling with others, and do something about it. If you wait until you are suffering a full-fledged major depression, it's much harder to dig your way out of it. Try to recognize the signs of languishing early and respond in healthy and affirming ways. In recent months, I've preached a lot about how we need to face reality, grieve what is lost, and then turn toward hope through action. And I still believe that's how prophetic work is accomplished in our world. But part of the reality we're facing right now is our own fatigue and sense of languishing. Some of the most difficult challenges we're dealing with are not just external, but internal. And we need to bring the same sense of urgency and clarity to these internal challenges that we do to the societal challenges of our times. Fortunately, we don't have to experience all of these challenges alone. We can and must reach out to one another during this time, especially when we sense that feeling of languishing, either in ourselves or others. Just the act of acknowledging what's happening and reaching out can be the beginning of healing. We've been going through crisis after crisis in recent months. Most of us will get through to the other side, but the experience will leave us changed. There's a story from the Lakota tradition about a people who lived in an area that would oftentimes be visited by terrible forest fires. When this happened, the people would flee with their animals, terrified of the flames. One year, a great fire came upon the land again, and the people were fleeing, desperately trying to outrun the flames. But the fire was rapidly catching up with them, and there was no hope of escape. Until the wise woman of the tribe suddenly stopped running and addressed the people. "We can never outrun the flames," she told them. "We must turn to face the fire and run back through the flames to safety on the other side." Now, of course, the people shrank in fear at the thought of running back through the flames, but they respected the wise woman and they heeded her advice. First, they drenched their children with the remaining water they were carrying. Any surplus water they used to drench their animals and themselves as best they could. Then, holding their children close in their arms, they ran back through the flames. Some died, but most came through to safety beyond the flames. All were scarred and became known as the people with burn scars on their skin. They had faced their worst fears and broken through to the life that beckons on the other side of terror. Over the past year or so, it feels like we've been dousing ourselves with water and running through the flames again and again and again. Some have not made it to the other side. Those of us who have made it are almost certainly feeling fatigue and at least occasionally a sense of languishing. Please remember, first of all, whatever you're feeling, those feelings are valid. Denying, minimizing, or shaming yourself over your feelings will only lead to more pain. Whatever you're feeling is what you need to feel, at least for right now. Second, if and when you have a sense of languishing, look for activities that provide a sense of flow, as well as moments of quiet and small wins throughout your day, always reaching out both to find and provide comfort when you can. And finally, remember that there is a way through. There is some other side that we will reach, both individually and collectively. All of us will bear scars, visible and invisible, from the experience, but most of us will get there. And when we do get to the other side of whatever we're going through, I hope and pray that we will not only mourn what has been lost, but will also celebrate the miracle of life and living during even the hardest of times. The song we're about to sing, I've Got Peace Like a River, is one of the simplest pieces in our hymnal, but it's also one of the most profound. Each time we gather, whether in person or electronically, I am aware that each of us brings a different set of experiences and emotions to our moments together. Some of us are experiencing peace, some joy, some pain, and some tears. But every time we gather, I am aware of the ocean of love that keeps us afloat and the mountain of strength that we feel in community with one another. May we know the stillness of peace. May the rush of joy lift us up. May love sustain us. May our pain find comfort and healing. May our tears cleanse our hearts and minds. And may we find the strength to persevere. May it be so. Amen.
I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a got strength like a mountain in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul.
If you'd like to make a gift via our online giving system, you can do so in one of two ways. You can go to sunnyhill.org and click on the button that says Online Giving, and then follow the instructions. Once you get to the drop-down menu, just choose either 2021 Pledge if you're making a contribution towards your pledge payment, or non-pledge collections for other donations. Or you can give by text at 412-324-3130. Just push the numbers on your smartphone and follow the instructions. And you can also send a check if you prefer. You can find our mailing address on our website, sunnyhill.org. And we thank you very much for your generosity.
Please join us in saying the words for extinguishing our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Our closing words were written by Martha Kirby Capo. Our time together is finished, but our work is not yet done. May our spirits be renewed and our purpose resolved as we meet the challenges of the week to come. The chalice flame is extinguished until once again ignited by the strength of our communion. Go now in peace.